All right. And then do we want to reference...
Well, we've started now.
We've started.
Yeah. This is TDOM's One Mic Podcast. I'm Black.
I'm Brown.
Okay, now we're going to discuss the logistics of the podcast on the podcast.
Yeah, pay attention, guys. We don't know what the fuck... Or the freak is... I failed 30 seconds in.
30 seconds in. We said we weren't going to say the F word at all. And then 30 seconds.
I got halfway through it. We're fine. But yeah, I was thinking... So, I guess... With my wife, we like to go around and try, like, these local places. Mm-hmm. And, so there was a bar here that we heard had really good food. It was, I can't remember what it's called right now. Was it Harp and Hound? I think it was.
Harp and Hound?
Yeah. So it's in Ogden. And we go there and we're eating. My wife discovers that she can hack the jukebox system. They have one of those. I can't remember what they're called.
But it's like the app one.
The app, yeah. And so I was like, oh yeah, it could be fun. So she's like, oh, what song do you want me to play? And so, being the alternative kid, it wasn't a phase. So yeah, do some Panic at the Disco. So
wasn't a phase, Mom.
It wasn't a phase. So she plays This Is Gospel. I was like, yeah, hell yeah, it's a good time. Then she plays Fireball by Pitbull next. So I was like, okay, that's her style of music.
Yeah.
Fast forward about 15 minutes. We've listened to Fireball by Pitbull for 5 times in a row now. People are starting to look around. I was like, what are we doing? But she thought that was a blast. And
it's side quests.
It is side quests. As we left, I think she paid, because you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I think she paid to play Fireball by Pitbull for another 5 times. Just to leave these people here.
Well, if I were to run an app where you could pick the music in my store, I would charge like $1 per song. I'm assuming that's what you were paying.
I think it was. Yeah, she's like, yeah, I'll drop $15 to listen to Fireball 15 times in a row. And yeah, it took like twice. No, it was probably like 3 times before people started looking. And they were like, they're looking at like the bartender. I don't know. I don't have any control over this. My wife's like snorting and crying and shit over there in the court. I'm like, you're embarrassing me now. People are gonna notice. They're gonna know it's us.
No, that's how life should be lived. It's like you make up your own side quests, because it's not gonna be like Oblivion remastered, which is incredible, by the way. But you don't stumble upon a quest. You have to make them.
You do. And
she made a quest,
she
and I
did.
think she succeeded.
Right, and like, there's just, I don't know, there's so much bullshit in the day-to-day that, like, if you're not having fun, like, it'll wear on you, man. Like, you gotta have the side quests. Like, but I had no idea that, okay, that's a lie. I married her for those reasons. But, yeah, like, that was I didn't know what was going on until the 3rd time in a row, too. And I was like, alright. But it was good stuff,
Well, there's no way that she didn't know you weren't going to figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
She knew that was coming.
She's just smiling and talking to me, and her smile was just getting bigger. I was like, oh, yeah, you're just having a good time. Like, this is fun.
You're not having a good time. Yeah. You're having the best time out of anyone here.
She was having a way better time than anyone there. Right? But, yeah, like, I don't know. You gotta do something to have a good time.
Speaking of having a good time, the one I sent you, I'm gonna find the name right now because it comments for Neve. Okay. There's this chick on Instagram, and I don't remember what her profile is called. I'm gonna find it right now because I have to read the comments to you. But wise words from Neve. and she just makes like really corny, lame jokes. Like worse than dad jokes, kind of lame.
Okay.
And and right after the joke, there's just this long, awkward pause every time. So like it's already pretty good stuff.
Right.
But it's not the jokes that are the problem. It's the comments after. For some reason, and the format of the comment, 100% of the time is a compliment about how funny the joke was, and then the most depraved bullshit you've ever heard in your entire life immediately after. I open up the latest video, first comment right here. Absolutely funny. Hang me over a shark tank filled with every green-haired septum pierced in the world and force me to say sexiest jokes while yodeling to the tune of Single Ladies by Beyonce.
I don't know if I even understood all of that.
Neve, this may be your best joke yet. Launch missiles into Pakistan. So funny. Max my RuneScape account for me. And the way I discovered this is I'm on Facebook and one of her things come across. One of her videos, she tells her joke, and I'm like, there's got to be more to this. And then I opened the comments and got blindsided by this stuff.
It just keeps going.
Yeah. Amazing joke, Neve. Waterboard me with your sweaty gym towel and pee.
See, one of our coworkers would love that.
Oh, absolutely.
That sounds like something he would say.
Another banger, Neve. Can you pluck out all of my body hair one by one while also wiping me down with turpentine? like
I don't know. And people are just coming up with this stuff as they're commenting.
Yeah.
Like on top of it. Like
yeah.
People are they can get creative.
That's hilarious. What do you say? We hang me by my ball sack.
Right.
So just and so there's backstory to this as well.
Okay.
Because this has been going on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it started. I couldn't go back far enough to find how it started. But wherever it started, she turned off commenting for a little while. And so then a group was made, or a profile was made called Comments for Neve, where they just copied her videos and put them on this other page, and then the comments kept coming on that one. And this is followed because now there's one of her videos went to Facebook. Somebody stitched it on Facebook. And they were trying to make fun of how awkward she was, but the comments followed her to Facebook. So I don't know how they're finding this stuff out, but it's absolutely like a testament to human willpower.
I mean, it's just like the little things of, was the last time you seen a post about like John Cena? And to this day, people, they know the rules. You know the rules, right?
You know
and
the
I don't
rules.
know if that will ever change.
You know the rules.
If it does, I will be severely upset.
If it's a picture of John Cena in front of the car, everybody in the comments is just like, "That's a nice car. Is there something else to this?"
Right? Why'd you go to prom by yourself? I love it, dude. The internet is undefeated. People, yeah. My wife hates looking at the comment section on anything, and I don't understand. Cause I'm like, whatever is funny about this post, about whatever,
yeah,
I am going to find somebody's comment that I find 100% funnier.
Oh, absolutely.
Without a doubt, almost every single time. But she's like, I mean, what, look at the comments for what?
Yeah.
For gold.
Exactly. That's where all my best memes come from.
Are the comments.
If I go into the comments, and like I've got one that it's a picture of Hitler. And
as you do.
As you do. And the title or the words on it is just like, "God damn, bro, that's fucked up, and I'm Hitler."
Right.
Absolute banger of a meme.
Banger.
I love that. So,
yeah, I mean,
and I stole that from somebody in a comment section somewhere.
Yeah, and but it's flawless, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like some of the things that our coworker says, I'm like, dude,
we're gonna bring him on this, by the way.
We have to, yeah, without a doubt. Be prepared. He will say things that he will probably belong in a hotter place in hell than Hitler. Once you hear him for a second, you will understand.
Yep.
Right? Good person deep down. I'm sure.
But like when the rest of us go to hell, there's a special place for him.
Yeah, a little warmer. Yeah. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Little Nicky. Pineapple up the ass kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it makes it a good time. It makes it a good time, especially, I don't know, our line of work a little bit more stressful and deal with a lot of dumb people doing dumb things, making your life harder.
You need at least one dumb coworker to be able to say the dumb things.
Yeah. You need somebody that can say things that would send you to HR, but for some reason,
they're cannot. The person.
They're immune.
Yeah.
They're immune. Yeah. I don't know. You gotta have fun with it, right? And so so one of the nursing staff that we worked with, one of them, she was just being a super sweetheart. She saw my my little blender bottle here. I had it hooked on my belt loop, and she saw the Spider-Man logo. And she's like, "Oh, look at that! You know, like you can always tell who has kids, right?" And I was like, "You sure can." And I just, kept that shit to myself.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, went home. I was like, "Babe, we better get started because
the people think I have kids.
She thinks I have kids now, and it was just her and I.
Yeah.
Found her 6 hours later into shift, and she was like, "Oh, you got that bottle on you again?" And I was with one of our other coworkers now. She's like, "Yep, you can always tell who has kids." And they looked at me, and I just like, I don't know. I just gave them that look like, help.
If it's one of the people I'm thinking of, like they're nice enough that you can't just be like, actually,
exactly.
Like you have to you have to go with that. They're the nicest human being in the world, kind of thing.
Right.
And we've all had those instances where grandma says something and you're just like, yeah,
grandma. Right. Yeah. At what age do you get the pass to say whatever the hell you want?
Oh, it's somewhere up there.
Because.
And I don't know if it's an age, is like a look. I think it's more a look than an age. Because if you look like you're past that age,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You can say diabolical shit.
Yeah.
And nobody can check you. It's almost immoral to try to check that person on saying something that could be whatever. Could be the most racist thing you've ever heard in your life. But you're like, they came from a different time.
Exactly.
They get a pass for some reason.
Yeah, no, they have to.
I want to apply early if I can for one of those.
Yeah.
But
if I could get an early old person pass,
I
think that's better than the N-word pass.
I think it is. That is. It's an all-inclusive pass.
Yeah.
As soon as like there's openings for the next applications, I'm submitting several.
But also with kids, like I use that excuse all the time. Like I'm at the Lego store over there across the street from work, and buying a race car Lego set, and I've got my kids there with me. I'm like, yeah, just buying race car Legos that they're not going to be allowed to touch ever.
Right. Right, absolutely, dude. Well, it's like some of the things that they've got in the stores now, like some of these toys, I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And I don't have kids yet. So I'm just going to have to hang out and like, I don't know, like what, even though the people around me, I'm at the store, they're assuming I have kids. I look the age I have kids, and I'm looking in the toy section, like, oh yeah, he's looking for his kids. But like me, I feel inherently creepy looking at the kids' toys. Like I'm just like,
yep. Because you know deep down that you're just a fucking weirdo.
Exactly, right. And as long as I know it, it doesn't matter what they think of me.
It's what you believe.
It's what I believe. Yeah, I was like, they're looking at me. They're like a sick son of a bitch looking at these kids' toys over here. And I'm just like, I don't know. I like checking up on them. Like, once I do have kids, I'll be like, no, listen, things have been changing. About 5 years back, I still didn't have kids. Still was way too old to be in the section. But they had stuff that's way improved now.
Oh. Hilarious. Rip off my toenail and put salt in it.
Exactly. Neve, right?
Yep. No, so my wife yesterday found those marble tracks and found a ton of them at the thrift store. And so bought a ton of them, as you should.
Yeah, you have
and
to.
I've played with them more than my children have.
Absolutely.
Because, like, growing up, I never ended up, like, I played with the Lego tracks, but it was always not enough. And now I'm an adult who can buy what I believe to be enough.
Exactly.
And I'm still not there yet. I haven't found the limit. I don't know if there is a limit now.
Right.
If I fill that whole room next to us right now with just with marble tracks all the way across it, I'm not sure. I might have to go all the way up the stairs.
You might have to. And once you're up there, you got a whole new floor.
Exactly.
Right, if you can pay for it, get it all. But do it all.
And that brings us back to side quests, because you see those people on YouTube and stuff that they found their toy back when they were a kid, and now that they're an adult with an expendable income, they just spend it on that, and they build massive things, or they just dive way too far into that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, and I don't know. I think that's awesome, personally. Like, that sounds like a blast, dude. Like, people are way too, I don't know. I'm not sure if they think that they're supposed to think a certain way because of society. I'm like, oh yeah, well, dirty old man.
Right.
Pokemon's the shit. What do you like?
Yeah.
You got Pokemon cards. I got comics. We got our things.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, I don't know. Deep down, maybe it's because we grew up at a time where like bullying was cool.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
you
that's
just
what it
bullied the hell out of each other, and like, if I showed up to school and like something that I thought was cool, but other people thought was nerdy, I got roasted relentlessly for it.
Absolutely.
So maybe there's a reason that, like, maybe that's why I didn't say that I don't have kids to the nurse, you know? Yeah. Maybe I didn't say that because I was like, oh, she's also from that time. Where if I said, oh yeah, no, I think Spider-Man's cool, she'd be like, oh.
You don't know it, but she's from the, like, 2009 Call of Duty time period.
Yeah, right, the lobbies where anything and everything was said. Right, like.
And so she'd, like, worst case scenario, we're gonna play this out now. Okay. I'm her. You're you.
Okay.
Hey, I see your cup there. You can definitely tell who has kids, huh?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just like Spider-Man. I don't have
You're
any
such
kids.
a fucking nerd.
Right?
You're so stupid. What are you, a creep? You hang out outside of parks, huh? You watch kids.
Yeah, and then now I'm instantly back in the toy section at Walmart looking at these toys, and that's what I'm doing to myself. Right? And it is. It's the Call of Duty lines. I think that's where cyberbullying came from.
I think so.
It started to become a problem. There was kids like killing themselves because of this.
Oh yeah.
I think it started in Call of Duty lobbies.
I think so.
I think that's exactly where it all started. Because like, ruthless things were absolutely awful work.
By the way, everything I just said, I think she would have said that.
She would have. I don't know. I think she's too nice, but she would have at least thought that. She would have told her husband when she got home.
Oh yeah.
She'd be like, "Oh yeah, so I found it."
You would have got roasted behind your back.
Ran into. She doesn't know what a twink is. Ran into some. Yeah. What did we call it back in the day? But like, it just
things we can't say on a podcast nowadays.
Exactly. Yeah, things that we've probably said too much.
Oh yeah.
But if you get offended easily, you found the wrong place.
Well, we've already dove into the nerd shit now. People are gonna when we set up the camera and actually like have the whole thing set up, people are gonna watch that and be like, "That's not the same, guys."
No.
There's no way.
You gotta be multifaceted. You gotta
exactly.
Right, what was it?
I can go straight from watching like some gym bro thing on Facebook, and then I scroll, and the next thing is like a Minecraft thing.
Equally stoked.
Exactly.
Right. Like what was it at work the other day when we got our time to lift? And we were talking about Pokemon earlier because
Yep.
I don't know, it's just
because why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't we? You know, if you don't if you're too cool for Pokemon, probably too cool for me, it's fine. But yeah, we're hitting. It's like, all right, if you can lift heavy, if you can bench 3 plates and be a fan of Pokemon, I like that.
Yep.
I like I don't know. Have multiple things. Have multiple things you do. Like,
but again, nobody would look at you and be like, "That guy knows his comic books."
No, I'd be like, so, you know, if my calculations are correct, push up the glasses. Well, this character's first appearance back in the 1960s. Right, but
yeah, they wouldn't look at you and be like, "That guy not only collects comic books, but he doesn't even have kids at home."
He does. Right, no, there's, you know, but I love that, because I don't know, I've been able to get along with people pretty well, because I try to find common ground, and that's always a fun one, is when somebody's like, oh yeah, like, you know, whenever, especially if you like work with somebody you haven't really worked with, and so you're like, okay, you gotta feel them out, find that common ground, and then it's somebody I'm like, oh, this dude's a gamer. Like, world class, he's ranked top 100 in whatever specific game he loves. Like, he's that guy. But I know it, and I'm not sure if they just would assume I don't game at all. And I'm like, oh, so you like a gamer at all? You like any of that stuff? And then you see the little light turn on for a second.
It comes on, and they're like,
yep. They're like, oh yeah, like, you know, I like this. What about you? But yeah, you know, like, yeah, I game, dude. Like, of course I game. Who do you think I am? What year do you think it is? Like, video games are insane nowadays. Like,
right?
If things look better than real life.
I didn't even think about that. Oblivion music is probably playing in the background right now.
Flawless though.
I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think I think
someone.
we need to find Oblivion music to constantly
play
in the background.
Just always.
Oh, every time. Every episode.
No, the other day that exact thing happened to me.
Okay.
Somebody that, like, I don't really talk to, like, we're into the same stuff adjacent.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm kind of into certain things, and then he's kind of into things that are similar but not the same. So we have almost common ground on everything. But then the other day, Oblivion came up, and he was like, "Are you playing the remaster?"
You're like,
"Sir,
this guy."
Don't know if you know this, but I just listened to an entire playlist on just the Daedric princes, so maybe a little bit."
Right. I'm about that. Like, that is such a blissful feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Of, like, somebody that's equally geeked out about something as you are. Because when you're too geeked out about it and they're not, then it starts to feel weird.
Exactly.
But, or if, like, you're trying to appreciate how geeked out they are, but you don't have your shits to give, or they're running low.
Yep.
But you're like, I don't want to, like, make them feel weird for how geeked out they are, but it's too much for me now. But then,
and that's the other thing I'm paranoid about, is because if I get, like, into something for a little while, so that world that I built, that I told you about.
Yep. In the shower.
In the shower. Yep. In the shower, just came up with the idea and then built a world, and now it's not a thing. It's not being used for anything. It's just sitting on my computer right now. But I had somebody ask me, because I told them about the idea early on. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just making this thing. I want to build a story in it or a game or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with this world I'm building, but I'm just building a world for fun at this point. So they asked me about it a while later, were like, "Hey, how's things going with that world you were building?" And then I just went off the fucking rails. I just went off and I told them everything I'd come up with because I was still super stoked about it.
Right.
And then an hour later, I could see them getting exhausted. I was like, oh no.
What have I done?
Oh no, they'll never want to talk to me again.
Right.
To be fair, they have talked to me since then.
Okay.
But they haven't asked me about that.
That checks out. Something about that tracks. Right. But it's, I don't know. Everybody's got something like that.
Yeah.
If you don't, what do you do, actually?
Right. You have to have something that you're into.
Right. Like, for example, like my wife and her friend group, they go horseback riding a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Her friend owns multiple horses. She has one that she's raised up from a colt, and she loves it, right? Doing fantastic. And so she always she said, "Oh, you should come horseback riding." I was like, I wish I was a cowboy, but that's just not who I grew up as.
Yeah.
But obviously I go to if we went line dancing or country dancing or something like that, I'm gonna look the part and I'm gonna feel like a fraud, but I'm gonna have a blast. Anyway.
Again, it's what everyone believes about you, not what you know on the inside.
Exactly. And
I don't think the purpose of this episode is side quests anymore. I think it's lie to everyone.
Lie to everyone. Be whoever you want to be. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Everybody else is
everyone's
NPC.
an NPC.
But so I go horseback riding. And I'd done it once before when I was 15. But we went once, and then it was a good time. We went to go again, and as we start going, we were off the trail, just going. There's a bunch of people hiking, and all of a sudden, so there's a lot of buffalo there. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, we see a young one, kind of full of some piss and vinegar, starting to go over there, and it starts mock charging this group of people walking down the trail, getting to the parking lot. And I was like,
sir,
yeah, excuse me. Hello, excuse me. What is happening? And they had some young kids. I think there was somebody in a wheelchair too. They're just family, and I was like, this is not good. So we kind of keep an eye on them. Me, my wife, and her friend. We're keeping an eye on them. And then, all of a sudden, somebody gets chased on their bike, and they have to go off the trail. And then they fall, and are holding the bike between them and the buffalo. And the buffalo looks like it's going after them, almost. And I was like, okay. And my wife's friend was like, we should probably go try to scare it off. And I was like, yeah, that'd be sick. I've never galloped before, but yeah, let's do it. And so, of course, we take off at Mach 30.
Fucking hour one on a horse.
Exactly. I'm still in the tutorial, and so we go flying down. This is the tutorial. Yeah, it's right into it, man. And so we're going, and I'm sitting there. We're galloping, and I'm like, hey, I'm kind of doing it, smashing my nuts on the horn. I'm flying. I have one leg kind of hanging on. I'm leaning with my whole body, and I was like, "This is horrifying." I haven't even got to the point where I have to face down a buffalo. I'm just running. I'm scared shitless. I'm done. We get there, and so we start yelling at it, and it turns and faces my wife on her horse, and my wife yells at it, and her horse rears up, takes off, and I was like. Had me feeling some kind of way. I was like, well, damn. That's pretty neat. And then it starts looking at me, and I'm like, man voice comes out. And we scare it off.
You turn your cowboy hat backwards. It's
exactly,
time.
right. The Ash Ketchum intro, I was full in it. And as we scared it off, we did get everybody else back into the parking lot. They had closed the fence and everything, and they were all safe. And then they all just started cheering like crazy. And I was like, hold up. That was actually really cool.
They all thought you were a real cowboy.
They thought I was a real cowboy. And I was like, you know what? As far as anybody's concerned, I'm a damn cowboy. You know, I was just super, like, hearts racing. So then we start back up the trail. Now that we had this section clear, and there were some people at the top that walked down there, and they're like, that was probably like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, you guys like saved all those people, and I was just people just gassing us up for nothing, you know. And I'm sitting there like. There was another group behind them that also started. And at that point, I'm sitting there.
You became the hero of the game in the tutorial.
I was the main character for a second there, right? And I had like a little piece of grass sticking out of my mouth and everything, and walked by a little hat tilt, and I was like, you know, sometimes they just get a little full of themselves, get a little antsy, but it ain't no thing. I'm just
crank up the full cowboy.
Oh, absolutely, you know.
It's a good thing I played so much Red Dead.
Right. Exactly. As far as they're concerned, you know. Hey there, friend. You know, it was a blast, but it was so funny just getting gassed up like that from these strangers that, you know, like, obviously it was cool that we were able to help out. But, like, I felt like a fraud the whole time.
Yes.
You know, and my wife and her friend were like, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool, huh? And I was like, that was the coolest thing I've ever done. I'm still scared.
The coolest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, I was like, I'm still scared. Like, we're going to finish this ride, but, like, I probably should have wiped my ass after that. Like, that was horrifying. But, you know, it was a good time. It was wild, you know? And I was like, just one of those, I guess, when you get into somebody else's side mission, tread carefully.
Yeah, because you were out there because it sounds like by force anyway.
You know,
like,
it was...
You had to be there.
Yeah, my wife suggested that I go, and so I understood the suggestion. Yeah. And I did my thing, my husbandly duties, and I shut the hell up.
Naturally.
Yeah, it almost died, but, you know, paid off.
I had something happen the other day that was completely not related to this at all. But there's a Pizza Hut right over here. And it's one of those Pizza Huts that, like, there's no front end of the store. There's the counter where they cook the pizzas, and then, like, half a lobby. And that's it. And they have enough room for 2 chairs out there. So, I ordered, and that's a whole different deal too, because I screwed up that order by a lot. But this person comes in to this tiny little lobby, and I remember that they said, I have an order for Simmons, because they said it 85 decibels louder than they needed to in a space that size. And so me and this other guy had been sitting in those chairs waiting on our orders. I'll tell you about that, because that was a thing in itself. But we're sitting there. I had my headphone in, and I'm looking at my phone. He had a headphone in, looking at his phone. So we're both, like, not on this planet for a minute there. And this person comes in, I had an order for Simmons!
Yeah, oh, cool.
And so I looked up, thinking that, like, they're in the back ignoring this person. No. Face to face. And so I start paying attention to this person. Because they're the main character now.
Right. You have my attention.
And he's like, yeah, let me go get that. I think it's ready. And thank you! Like, this is not an old person.
Right, you're like, they don't look like they're a vet.
There's no hearing aids. Like, this looks like the only combat experience they have was D&D.
Yeah. Right. Got a little hairy there rolling their D20.
And so that's the only time I've ever didn't even meet the person, just was in the vicinity of a person who was loud because they have no social, like, awareness.
Right.
Because, like, deafness, I understand. Combat vet, like, all that stuff, I understand. Old person, I understand. Like, they're loud because they can't hear shit. No, this person's loud because they didn't gauge the volume of everybody else in the room. And I don't think they would have Anyway, but even better, I screwed up the order that time. So Pizza Hut that has that double pizza box, and so I ordered like the box that we wanted, 1 pepperoni, 1 cheese, and like it's enough for us and the kids. So I put that in the cart, and then I'm like, how expensive can I make this box? And so I did like this crazy expensive buffalo chicken pizza, and then I did the other one was like a chicken bacon ranch, and I added a couple other things onto it.
Oh yeah.
And then 12-piece wings, and I don't know, like a Alfredo or something. Like, I added as much as I could to this.
Oh yeah.
Just goofing around. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, then at some point I got lost in the app somewhere. Because I ordered both those things. Mm-hmm. So the one is enough for us. And so we had 2 of them, and one of them cost $55. So I get there. This person screams at the top of their lungs while I'm in there. And I'm like, that was a weird experience. And then they call my name, and they have these 2 massive boxes. And I was like, are those both for me? And he's like, yeah, and pulls out the receipt and shows me. It was like $73. I spent almost $100 just on pizza. And so I get in the car and I call Lexi. I'm like, hey.
I did a thing.
I
hope you're really, really hungry.
We didn't even get close to finishing it. I ate pizza for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Because she can't eat the buffalo chicken pizza. And I shouldn't eat it.
You're like, I do. I get into a fist fight with porcelain afterwards. But,
exactly.
But, you got to. I definitely should get checked on something because I don't eat Taco Bell enough to shit like I do sometimes. Like,
I love Taco Bell. I shouldn't eat Taco Bell. But, like, beefy 5-layer burritos... Mm-hmm. That's if I'm in a Taco Bell for any reason, I'm getting 2 of them always.
Yeah, you have to.
And when I played football, we'd go on the trips, and there was always a Taco Bell because it was Arizona. There's Taco Bells everywhere in Arizona, and so the beefy 5-layer burrito back then was what, like $1.50 or something like that. So a high school student who brought $10 on an overnight trip, you can feed yourself for 2 days on that.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, you had all the money in the world.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't know why they're so expensive now. It's the same thing.
Yeah, no, things are getting a little wild.
Yeah.
Also, so speaking of Taco Bell, we did a bracket at work.
Yes.
For the best sodas.
We do have to talk about that.
And, Taco Bell, we got Baja Blast.
Yep.
Ended up winning the whole thing.
Yeah. And I have a theory about that.
Oh.
Yeah. But keep going.
I got to hear about this theory. I don't know. I got questions about it. A little absurd. So with the side missions, usually it's one person that's in on it. We came up and told everybody at work, hey, we're going to do a bracket. We want to bring some sodas so that we can taste test it.
Yeah.
Getting a little carried away, we came up with 32 sodas. That
we
all
were
brought.
Worried. I remember you and I were worried that we were not going to have enough for a 16-man bracket.
Absolutely.
And we doubled that.
We doubled it.
There was so much soda.
Yeah, that was...
I think there's still soda.
That was about a month ago.
Yeah. And there's still soda in the fridge from that.
We've got like 7 2-liters still full in the refrigerator. Like, people showed up. I was not prepared for the level of commitment.
No, it was awesome.
I was, blown away. People we were so ready for it.
We created a side mission and everyone succeeded.
I thought it was like people were like, oh yeah, it's kind of dumb, like what you guys are doing. And we printed out the bracket, and I was like, we'll probably have some people participate. No, we had a good 20 people write up a bracket.
Oh, that became, because that was a Sunday, I think that took over the entire day.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to know how the soda bracket went.
Oh, we had people calling us. You and I had to split and go on either side of the building to go and get answers and try to collect. All right, versus we got Barks versus A&W, which
that was what started it.
Yeah, Belcher, if you're out there, you're wrong. But
yeah, you can shut the hell up, Belcher.
You can keep that to yourself. We are drinking A&W right now in our high noon saloon
as
mugs.
We should.
Y'all see them later.
Yep.
But people just went buck wild with it, and I could not have been happier.
Yeah, no.
The results. We'll get to that. I want to hear your theory, but yeah,
people
so fun.
So my theory.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the top 4 ended up being Barks, Baja Blast, Dr. Pepper, and that Henry...
Oh, the Henry Weinhardt's
Henry Weinhardt's root beer. That was the top 4. Like, Coke didn't make the top 4. Pepsi didn't make the top 4. Voltage didn't make the top 4.
No.
Like, all of these standouts that everybody's like, yeah, that's my favorite, didn't make the top 4. But here's my theory, okay? If you take a soda that you only kind of like, Cherry Coke for me, like, it's not one that I would pick. I wouldn't pick it over Coke. And especially I wouldn't pick it over, like, A&W. But if you put that against the Henry Weinhardt's, I'm going to pick the Henry Weinhardt's because I know that that's safe.
It is safe. It is a safe answer.
Like, I know that I like that root beer. Same thing with Dr. Pepper. I mean, Dr. Pepper should have won it all. But all 4 of those, here's the theory, all 4 of those are basic bitch sodas.
That's fair.
And so when you do it a bracket style like that, people are going to pick their safe options over the ones they only kind of like. And I feel like Coke and Pepsi are, for most people, is only a kind of like. Like most people, they have a preference between the two, but that's not their favorite soda.
Okay.
And so the reason those 4 ended up, and Baja Blast became number 1, is because it's the ultimate basic bitch soda.
Right.
Like when you go to Taco Bell, you get a Baja Blast.
You go to Taco Bell for a Baja Blast sometimes.
Exactly. Like you can't. There's no other drinks at Taco Bell.
No.
They don't stock any of them. I don't think.
I don't.
Like
they shouldn't.
No.
For what?
Somebody drives up and they're like, "Could I get a Diet Coke?" And they're like,
"Where are you, sir? Do you need help?
Do you blink twice if you're in trouble?"
Yeah, whoever's with you led you astray. You're at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption though. I think you're probably right because like
that's why I think it won.
And there was a lot of people, and I think they knew that there was a lot of people voting on it.
Yep.
So maybe they went with something like that because. I mean, personally, I think I had A&W winning mine. And I don't even know if I 100% agree with that, but...
I had Dr. Pepper winning mine.
Dr. Pepper?
That's I mean, I'm drinking that right this
now.
moment.
And I'm drinking A&W right now. So, I mean, both those check out.
Yep.
But I think I had Dr. Pepper in my final against A&W.
Yeah.
But... yeah, no, that's interesting. Because it did not go the way I thought it would.
No.
And also, so we brought the sodas, right? And way too much soda. But it also didn't help that most people didn't even sample it. We brought a shit ton of cups so that everybody could sample it. Because I was like, if you sample it, your answers might change.
Yeah. The perfect example of that, Black Cherry Shasta.
So I had not had Black Cherry Shasta.
Yeah.
Until that day.
It
baffled me. Made it to the quarterfinals in my bracket, having never had it until that day. I can't remember what I had it beating, but like a couple of drinks that I was like, I would have not guessed that.
Because the thing is, Shasta people, all the Shasta people that were there that I talked to, I was like, I brought Black Cherry because that's objectively the best one. And all of them were like, no, yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
But everybody who hadn't tried it had the same reaction you did. Because it got put in the bracket in the perfect spot to where people had to try them out, had to try it out at one point or another and be like, oh, this one's actually a banger.
Mm-hmm. You had to. And I tried to try every single...
I have it right there.
Do you?
I do.
Of course you do.
Just in case.
I tried, I think, almost all of the 32 in that first round. And I would just go off that first one, and I almost put myself in the hospital trying every one of those sodas.
I did not feel good that day.
My tummy was hurting. It was not well. But, yeah, one that also surprised me was the Grape Crush.
Yeah.
For me, when I tried it, I'm not sure if it was just, like, the comparison to, like, what we had in there. But the Grape Crush was so good. Yeah. I was like, oh my... Because I had it beating something that...
Grape Crush?
I don't think should have beat it, realistically, thinking about it now. But
I think Grape Crush made it past my first round, but then I had it losing out. And then I finished my bracket. I didn't even try it when I did the bracket. And then later on, when I was actually voting on the bracket, I tried it, and I was like, oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I'm going to lose.
Right? Because I think I made it to the quarters with Grape Crush. I think I had it beating Voltage. And I look at that now, and I'm like, yeah, that's a little interesting. But it was so good.
I have been on kind of a Voltage kick recently. Like, since that. I think the soda bracket ruined me for a minute. I
haven't drank a ton of soda since either. I wasn't feeling well. But it was so good. The goodest of shit.
The goodest of shit.
Right?
I've been taking notes of, like, things that I think about. Because I used to do... This is going to add to my dad lore for you.
Dad lore.
I used to do stand-up comedy.
Of course you did. I don't know if there's a single thing that you have not done.
Listen, we're going to... the further we dive into this podcast...
People are going to discover. Yeah. They're like, Black is a mythical creature.
That's how people see me at work right now.
I had somebody tell me that when I first got on the crew.
Yeah?
Somebody was like, hey, Black is... Like, he's tried everything once. Like, he has the craziest hobbies. And I was like, okay, yeah, like, that's cool, whatever. I was just like, okay, he's, jack of all trades, like, it's fine. I was unfamiliar with your game, sir. I did not know you were like that. But you are, the dad lore.
The dad lore is going to expand, yeah. Mm. So, just in case I ever go back and do stand-up again, because I think it would be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of fun. I keep notes of things. And the other day, I don't remember why I was thinking about it, but there's this gas station down the way a little ways. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, this area is not like the worst of the worst kind of area. We actually live in a pretty decent neighborhood.
Right.
Decent neighbors, like, it's not, top of the line. I'm not loaded, but...
Right.
Like, decent neighborhood. A lot better than the neighborhood we used to live in. And this gas station, it's not even a gas station. It's like a convenience store.
Okay.
For some reason, in the middle of, like, all this decent neighborhood is just the ghettoest convenience store on the planet. Like, most places, most of these convenience stores, it's like, somebody might spit in my food if I go here. Yeah. This one, it's a guarantee or your money back. Like, someone's spitting in your food. So, and on top of that, like, I'm a white dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed before.
I noticed. Your name is Black, so I get confused. But
this is one of those places that, like, the clerks speak Spanish and not English ever.
Yeah, no, not a word of English.
And so, anyway, I've walked and driven past this store 1,000,000 times. And then somebody was like, no, you've got to go over there and you've got to try their chimichangas. I was like, I don't want to go in there. And they're like, no, it's not bad. Like, just go in there, go try the chimichangas. It's like, okay, but I'm going to get weird looks. And I go in there, and that's exactly what fucking happened.
What were you wearing?
Normal clothes?
Stuff.
My normal stuff.
Looked like you just...
I probably had a hockey shirt on.
Yeah. Like, I could say, looked like you just got done hunting. Or, I don't know.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if I had a cowboy hat on. Like,
yeah. Right.
So I go into this convenience store, and the clerk didn't say a word to me. Like, other places you go in, and it's like, hey, how's it go? Like, good morning. Like, I walked in, and he looked at me and watched me like I was going to steal something. And the thing is, I think their regular clientele is people who steal things.
Right? Maybe that's how he looks at everyone.
Yeah. I walk in. I don't look like someone who steals things. And he was eyeballing me. And so they have, like, the warmer there. Mm-hmm. And I went up and I was like, Can I get a chimichanga? Just the whitest way you could say chimichanga.
Chimichanga. A chimichanga.
Can I get one of those? So he gets that, and I pay for it. Incredible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You were not let down?
I was not let down. I don't know if I'd go back. I was uncomfortable.
Right. It was delicious. Spit and all.
Yep. When you leave, you're going to go out to 36th. You're going to turn right. And as you're going that way, you're going to see exactly the store I'm talking about. Okay. I don't have to describe it to you because you will find it.
I'll lay eyes on it. I'll know.
Incredible experience.
Okay.
Would recommend.
Well, now I'm going to have to try one. But do I keep him on his toes, and do I hit him with some Spanish?
There you go.
Do I just go in there and just see what happens? Or do I go in there and try to just stare him back? Like, walk in there, if he looks at me, I'll just turn.
Yep.
And just look at him until he looks away. It might be a good way to get hurt.
I think so.
You know, maybe we'll...
Listen, there were several other people in there, too.
Did they get stared down?
They didn't get stared down. They looked like regulars. They looked like they go there and they get their chimichanga for lunch every day. Which they should, because it's delicious.
Right. They were just looking at you, and he was like,
"Yeah,
what a cop." maybe
that's what it was.
You looked.
He saw me, and he was like,
"That checks out,
officer."
Right. Interesting. Yeah. Well, you know, like I was saying earlier, the wife and I we check places out like that. So I'm gonna have to. I don't know if I'm gonna bring her into that joint yet. No. I'm gonna have to give it the old college try first. But yeah.
But it's definitely one of those places. Like, one of the walls has been repaired because it's been hit by a car, probably multiple times.
Right.
All the windows have bars on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's just slapped in the middle of our neighborhood.
Like, it's not like on a normal street with other stores. It's just...
No, it doesn't fit in at all. There's no reason for it to be there. Now, down that way, it would make sense. Like, it fits in 8 blocks that way.
Right.
It doesn't fit in where it's at now. And I don't fully understand it. And they built, like, a new apartment complex next to it, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those fancy apartment complexes.
Oh, yeah. So it just adds to it.
Exactly. It doesn't fit in. And I'm sure there's more stuff like that out there. There's a commercial on. So this smart TV I got. It keeps advertising, like, here's our options for Netflix, and then, like, what's been playing in the background is just, like, calming music with cityscape stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then it jams commercials in the middle of that because I'm not paying for premium background noise.
Yeah, I've been watching this Pizza Hut commercial. I think that might be the 5th time I watched it.
Yeah.
I'm still confused about the like the little breadstick things on the outside.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm used to, I guess.
How do you eat the pizza if you don't have the crust to grab onto?
I don't know, dude. I mean, the cheese looked great. It looked like the little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of cheese dripping off of it almost.
Yeah.
So, like, it looked good, but I don't know how to eat it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you know.
Because, so if you're the kind of person who eats your pizza crust first, like, first of all, you're a psychopath.
Yeah, you should be investigated.
Yeah. Because now you're grabbing the greasiest part of the pizza to eat it, and not grabbing the obvious handle that's built into the pizza.
Right.
But now Pizza Hut is removing the like you eat the handle before you even pick up the pizza now.
Right. Like Pizza Hut's just not the kind of place where I'm like gonna get like a fork and knife and anyway, if you're eating pizza with a fork and knife, it better be,
especially if it's the one down the street that doesn't have any tables and just 2 chairs in their lobby.
Yeah, like it's not that kind of pizza.
No.
You know.
I will tell you, the town that I grew up next to was small enough that like Pizza Hut was one of the establishments to eat at.
Oh, it was one of the spots. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. So like it was one of those places where if you were going on a date and didn't want to drive an hour and a half, like you went to Pizza Hut and they had like a salad bar and all that stuff.
A little fancy.
Yeah, like a fancy little Pizza Hut. And so then I move up here to the city and I'm like, Pizza Hut, it's just like the small tiny pizza place. You order pizza, you walk in, you get it, and you leave.
Right, it's no different than a Little Caesars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wasn't used to that. The other weird thing, growing up in a small town like that, coming to a big city like this, Radio Shack was our like go-to place for everything electronic, including movie rentals.
Really?
So before Redbox was a thing, I'm going to explain this for the younger audience. Before Redbox was a thing, which Redbox was the thing before Netflix.
Right.
And Netflix used to mail videos to you. Before all of that...
That's true.
Yeah. You'd go to a place, and you would rent videos from the place, like a library. You'd check out your video, and you'd go watch it, and then you'd bring it back and return it. And that was our Radio Shack in town.
You guys had the Radio Shack. See, I grew up with the Blockbuster.
Yep.
You know, which probably most of us did, but we also didn't live in BFE.
Yeah.
So that checks out. You know, where you probably owned that Pizza Hut.
Yeah, exactly.
And at least part of the Radio Shack.
They were connected.
They were.
Listen, you go eat your fancy food at Pizza Hut, and then you go next door and you get your video from Radio Shack.
Absolutely, they're connected because it was like a strip mall, and that was all you had.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Go watch the newest. The newest movie, which was Flubber or whatever.
Of course, flawless movie. I love that. Yeah, no, Blockbuster was so good.
Yeah,
that style of just going and renting a movie. Like, it was a blast. You'd go in there and, like, you know, they had just a shit ton of options.
Yeah, hundreds.
And you just go in there and it was so fun to just not know when you walked in. And then you walk out, but then you obviously got to bring it back and you just get a new one while you're there.
Yeah.
Because for what, you know? What?
Why not?
Yeah, you have to. And they did games, too, back then.
Yeah,
at least
that's
the
right.
Blockbuster. I'm not sure if they did it at BFE Radio Shack.
They did do it at BFE Radio Shack.
Okay.
Because like the Xbox was the brand new thing, the original Xbox.
The OG Xbox.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so they started having Xbox games there, and the better Xbox games were always gone.
Yep.
And so the Xbox games that they had there were always the rejects. And I played a lot of reject games because of that.
Right.
I can't even think of one right now off the top of my head, but that's what we did. You go to Radio Shack, you get your movie, and you go to your buddy's house, or you get your game and go to your buddy's house. And I'll bet you that I played Oblivion the first time renting it from Radio Shack.
Right. Ugh. Yeah, I remember they started doing the N64 rentals.
Yeah, the Radio Shack didn't do that.
What? Like,
that's
the cartridges? You have the cartridges? And so that's probably, I think, how I played, like, Banjo-Kazooie for the first time. Was probably, I don't know, clouded in nostalgia, of course, now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it
then
was
you had
a
a time limit on it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to get this back by Wednesday. So I have to beat this game by Wednesday.
And Banjo-Kazooie is one of those top shelf games that was always gone. Yep. So if I don't finish it and I have to bring it back, it's not going to be there.
Again.
Yeah, it's not going to be there ever again. Like, there's a kid sitting outside with a bloody nose is the reason I got in the first place. You know? It was scary, dude. A little time crunch.
Right? Yeah. But I do think that the movie part of it, like, that did add excitement to it.
So much.
Because you go in there, and there's movies that, like, you've heard from your friends about, and you see it there, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to try this out today. I'll try this one out. And Netflix doesn't have the same feel. Like, somebody suggests a Netflix show to you or a movie, how often do you actually go watch it?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's hardly ever. I'm always doing something other than watching things that people suggest to me.
Right? Like, well, there's just so many options now, and it's just so easy to just jump on there and scroll.
Exactly. I'm more likely to read a book that someone suggests to me than I am to
Yep.
to watch a Netflix show.
Yep. It takes a little bit more time to read a book, too, so, like, put that in perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a good time, because you just go off the covers.
Yep.
Like, you just go, you take a look, and you're like, all right, pretty neat.
Yep.
Is that Jason Statham? I'm in. Right? He's just the same guy in every movie, but, like...
But it's a banger of a movie.
It's a banger every time. And, like, I see him on there doing some cool parkour move on the cover, and I'm just like, yep. It's a wrap, dude. It's a wrap, you know?
Dude, when parkour started...
Yeah.
There were so many people
You did parkour.
Me. Oh, absolutely.
You were good at it, because you dove into it like you do.
And I got hurt a lot.
Yeah, that checks out, too.
But my brother got way more into it than I did. Like, I got kind of into it, and I was like, all right, this is pretty fun, and so I'd goof around with it. But he got super into it. Like, he was doing backflips and stuff. And I was always terrified to do a backflip. Because I don't trust the ground, so to put it behind me like that is just ridiculous.
Asking a lot. Asking a lot. But, dude, yeah, how do you not get hurt so much?
Yeah.
Like, well, and then, now that I think about it, like, how many kids... I saw a comedian talking about this, just on, like, a reel or something on Instagram, or I can't remember what it was, but, like, how many kids do you see hurt nowadays?
Oh, hardly any.
Right? Because he was talking about, like, he used to walk into, like, 3rd grade and look like a clinic in there. Like, everybody had a cast on, all this stuff, and I was like, that's so true. Like,
it do be that way.
Yeah, like, I would get hurt, or I had a buddy that, like, I swear he made a hobby of breaking bones, because we would do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And somehow I would do just fine, and he would just shatter his heel. Or, like, just something would snap. And I was like, I think he broke his hand once, karate chopping a pen. Because, you know, like, you had the pencils out, and then you just karate chop them, because hell yeah, brother, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do with them.
Yeah, and so we had a pen, and he's like, I can chop that. And I was like, no shot. So I tested it, and sure enough, he puts his heart and soul into that, and just doesn't break. And he's like, yeah, I think I broke my hand. And I was like, you did not. Like, stop. And his hand started discoloring. It started swelling. I was like, what the hell? We went home and told his mom that he tripped and hit his hand trying to catch himself on a curb, because that was way less embarrassing than karate chopping a pen.
Yeah.
And, like, it was on the way home from school, too. You know, where the most shenanigans happened.
Yep.
Walking back. And, as we're walking, I think is how he karate chopped it, too. It was just...
Because you have to keep walking. You can't stop and focus on that. You have to keep going.
You have to keep going, right? I was for sure thinking he was going to just karate chop my hand.
Yeah. But,
thankfully, he's actually pretty accurate, but it was a pen, so, you know, he got shit on like he should have. But, yeah, dude. Those walks back from school, too, were the best. Mm-hmm. Like, when you had your little friend group.
Oh, yeah.
I remember we had this one girl that, I'm not sure if it was one of her mom's books or she found it in the library, and I think it was like a 50 Shades of Grey type book.
Oh, my God.
So she found the juiciest part she could and started reading it out loud as we were walking back home. Naturally. And, you know, we were all laughing, but we were, like, just young enough that, like, we didn't know exactly what the hell was going on. and like make you a little uncomfortable, but
yeah.
try to be like, oh yeah, like I know what that is.
But don't ask me.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Tell you.
You know, I'm Mr. Cool Guy over here, and it just, I didn't.
No, I was thinking about this because I had a buddy who he got hurt all the time, and it was always doing things that we were like, hey, you should try this.
But he was the guy that would do it.
But he was the guy who would do it. And he used to do pretty much anything. We shot him with an airsoft gun in the nipple for $5.
Oh.
Like, he was that guy.
Yeah, no shot.
And he had 2 nipples in the same spot for the longest time after that. But no, we were out just goofing around in the middle of the desert, because when you grow up in the middle of the desert, that's what you do.
Yeah.
So we're crawling around on rocks and stuff, and he was like, hey, I brought stuff to make a dry ice bomb. And we were like, well, let's make a fucking dry ice bomb then.
You don't bring it to not make it.
So, he throws it together, puts the lid on, and the thing is, with a dry ice bomb, you put the lid on and you throw it immediately. Like, you put the lid on, and you get it away from you.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
And also, you're supposed to use a 2-liter bottle for it. Not a 20-ounce bottle, which is what we had. So he puts the lid on and then shakes it up for some reason.
Yeah.
As if that's going to do anything. Shakes it up and then cranks back to throw it, and it goes off in his hand right there. And it took that whole little flap right there between his thumb and forefinger off. It was gone. So, like, I don't remember if I took my shirt off or if somebody took their shirt off and wrapped his hand up in it. And it, of course, it's like covered in dirt, so it's the worst possible thing to wrap.
Now he's infected.
We go running back, get back to his parents' house, and we're like, oh yeah, he tripped down a mountain.
Yeah, going so fast.
We were just crawling all over the rocks, and then he fell and hit his hand on a rock, and it took half his hand away.
I don't know what happened to his hand. Right. Well, and I always think like my parents never really. For a fact, they didn't believe half the stupid shit that we'd tell them.
No.
But like they never checked back in.
Yeah. No.
Like I'm curious at some point they'd be like, oh, so maybe that one time when his hand was missing, what actually happened?
What actually happened?
Now that we're adults,
right?
What happened to his hand? Did he get shot? Like. A shotgun, like you guys are messing around with a buckshot. That makes more sense.
I think so.
Than, falling down a mountain.
But that's the other thing. Like, growing up in a little town like that, I want my kids to have this experience, but I don't want them to at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Because we used to go, like, we'd go take our guns out and go shoot stuff and all the time. Out there in Arizona, like, jackrabbits and the rabbits out there. You can kill them whenever. It just doesn't matter. They want as many dead as possible because it's a pest, and so you just go out and you kill rabbits however you want to. And so what we would do was find the ways that we were most likely to get hurt killing the rabbits.
Of course.
And one of those ways, we called it bunny bashing, and it's absolutely awful.
I think I might have heard about bunny bashing. Continue. I would see if I was on.
So we'd take golf clubs and hop in the back of a truck. And so one person's driving around chasing these rabbits in the truck. And then you just hang out the side from the bed of the truck and just smack them with the golf club.
As you're just going.
And so, you're already going 10 miles per hour. You're swinging. And so, like, it adds up. And you're killing these bunnies immediately.
Right.
Again, absolutely awful.
Yeah.
But I'm more shocked because we fell out of the back of that truck all the time.
Oh yeah, you're leaning all the way over trying to get a good swing.
So I'm surprised that none of us got run over.
Yeah, I'm surprised you get run over. I'm surprised you didn't take a side view mirror off.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't take somebody's head off with it.
Oh yeah.
Because you're both... You probably have multiple people in the back.
Oh, yeah. There was
clubs.
at least 4 of us with a
driver.
Big old driver.
Yeah.
Yep. Out there just swinging them around, you know.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm shocked, like, one of us didn't fall out while the other one was swinging and just head.
Yeah, just absolutely obliterated.
Exactly. We did blow stuff up all the time.
Yeah.
Because, again, out in the middle of nowhere, what else do you do? Nothing. And I don't know where we got a hold of propane tanks, but we shouldn't have been allowed to have them.
No.
Because what we'd do is we'd build a big bonfire. Mm-hmm. And the first time we did this, we didn't really understand the physics of it. We didn't know that, like, you can't just put a propane tank in a bonfire.
Yeah,
it won't do anything. It just heats up.
You guys, like, if we throw it in there...
Yeah, we thought, like, we'll toss it in there, we'll all run, and then it's going to blow up and it's going to be really cool. That's not how it works. In the real world, you have to puncture it. So, we set it in there in this big bonfire, we all take off running, and then we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and, like, nothing's happening. And so as we're waiting, we're also getting a little more comfortable, which means we're just scooting in a little bit. So eventually one guy is like, listen, we gotta put out this bonfire at some point, so we gotta get that propane tank out. I'm just gonna shoot it and see what happens.
Right.
So he goes to his truck, gets his gun, and shoots it. And he's standing with his gun. There's another guy who's like kneeling because we've been standing out there for so long. The biggest chunk of the tank went directly over this guy's head and next to the guy shooting and cut his arm. So had this guy been standing up, he'd be dead. Anymore.
Yeah.
And it was so big. Massive explosion. And of course it's nighttime, and so it's like this big fiery mushroom cloud. It was so cool. But we should have been dead.
Yeah, that's wild.
Middle of nowhere. So again, I'm like, I would like my kids to have middle of nowhere shenanigan type stories, but I don't want them anywhere near that.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I want you guys to mess around, get into a little bit of trouble. Let's not take our heads off, though. That would be ideal. Yeah, because I don't know, you gotta get up. I mean, nowadays it's like kids are finding friends online. They're gaming online.
Yep.
They don't meet up even, I feel like.
No.
So it's just, I don't know, we should have a little bit more. There's a happy medium, because there was some shenanigans and bullshit that we did that obviously could have killed someone, like your example there.
It's a little extreme in my examples.
Right.
That shouldn't be the case. Mm-hmm. But like I support the idea of like skate parks and stuff, because then I know where they're gonna be. There's a skate park down the street from us, and when my 5-year-old gets old enough, like he loves skateboards. We got the Tony Hawk Pro Skater, like the 1 and 2 set that just came out.
Oh yeah,
he plays that all the time. He loves it
too. Oh
yeah. So I think he's gonna end up being one of those like skateboard kind of kids.
Right. Well, and that's cool because skateboard kids, I don't know, they do just fine.
Oh yeah.
Like they always turn out to be like the most chill dudes. They fall a lot, so they get hurt, and they're fine. They're tough because of it.
Yep.
And
I know he's not like playing video games all the time, because in order for him to go skateboard, he has to go meet up with people at the skate park to skateboard. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's perfect for this kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, there's got to be like a little bit of a median, because like at least I grew up in the time like it was both. Like video games were starting to be established, like they were starting to get pretty good, and we liked playing video games. But they also, it was like during the time period where you had multiple like couch co-op games. Like we would all meet up and play the games together, and then we'd get bored pretty quick and we'd go outside and do something.
Exactly.
Like there was a little bit of both worlds there.
Yeah, System Link parties.
Dude.
That was...
Dude. everybody go over to one of our houses, get a little LAN connection,
Yep.
play some Halo.
Yep.
Like, it was so good.
Because it was just that time period that, like, before that, it was nerdy to play video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyone who played video games was just a nerd who stayed at home all day. And then it started to transition at one point where, like, oh, we're all going to so-and-so's house to play Halo. And then you'd go play Halo and yell at each other for screen watching.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, have you seen some of the pictures that... I think, there's like a nostalgia page I follow on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, some of these younger generations don't know. And they had, like, pictures like, you had a kid sitting, like, all crisscross applesauce on the floor with a pizza box. Pizza Hut.
Yep.
From BFE, Arizona. And they put that pizza box on the one kid's head. And the other kid was sitting on, a couch behind him. And... So it was like, but they were like,
And so the pizza box is like splitting the screen.
Exactly. They were like 2 feet from the screen, so that this kid's pizza box was perfectly balanced there. And they're playing like that to not screen cheat. I was like, that's hilarious, because we all did it.
Oh, yeah.
You had to
100%.
if you're trying to win.
Yeah,
I mean, if I'm playing GoldenEye on the 64.
Oh, yeah, no. You're screen watching because you're going to win.
Yeah, it's business. If you're not screen watching, you're not competitive enough.
Yeah, like, that rocket, whatever it was called, that you launch it and you can control it.
Control it, yeah.
And so then it would fly directly into your friend's face who's hiding. And he's like, you were screen watching. Nope, I just saw you. Like, no, I was screen watching.
Yeah, I watched exactly it in the air from your screen. I said, okay, I got you. Yeah, no, it's good stuff, though.
We're at an hour and 16 minutes.
That's pretty impressive, sir.
Do we want to call that or keep going?
I think that's perfect.
Okay.
Do we want to try to redo an intro at all, or are we just going to start with where you said hey, I'm black, brown?
I think that's it. I think that's the intro.
Perfect.
I think even with the part before that, I think that's the intro. Just we'll sort it out more as we go along, but episode 1 we don't have anything figured out yet.
Right. Yeah, an hour 16, it went pretty well as far as how long we went. Because at first I was like, oh no, it might take us a second to get rolling.
Yep.
And once we started rolling though, all of a sudden I'd just check. It's like, it's been 20 minutes.
Right?
Oh, it's 43 minutes in. Good hell, dude.
It's worked out really well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep writing stuff down. I learned that the way I was taking notes is a terrible way, because I was reading through some of my notes, and some of them I read what it said, and I was like, what does that even mean? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I have more questions now.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, mine wasn't so bad with the bullet points, and I feel like we did a pretty decent job of finding a way to transition into different things.
Now, how do we want to finish off? I don't want to do the whole like and subscribe thing.
Subscribe, tune in next week.
Yeah. Smash that like button.
Fucking virgin ass thing to say. Right. I don't even know. We got ourselves a bit of a conundrum here. A conundrum, dude.
Yep.
Bi-season tri-season.
We're at an hour 18 now, just talking about how we're going to end it.
Yeah, nice.
And I think all of this logistics stuff should stay in the podcast.
Yeah. Right.
Our decision-making process should be part of this.
Right.
Maybe we'll start a bracket for closing.
Start a bracket. Be like, all right.
We'll make a closing bracket.
A closing bracket.
Here's all the ways you can sign off, and then whatever wins the bracket. But for today's, I think we'll just say, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. Bye. Stop listening.